Welcome back to another edition of the Gabagools Podcast. I'm your host, Jeff. This is episode 71 with me today, the co-host Dan, Mystic Dan, if we remember the what was it, Kentucky Derby horse?
Yeah, that was that last year or was that 2 years ago?
Last year, yeah.
Boy, time flies. Really missed the boat on putting a few bucks down on Mystic Dan too. I wanted to. I should have put like couple hundred bucks down, and if I did, let's just say this one bedroom apartment probably wouldn't be a one bedroom apartment. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, Mystic Dan. You call me Mystic Dan. I'm a nickname guy. People used to call me Hoff. All the time because we had two Dans in the group. Little side story there. His name's Dan. I'm Dan. His last name's Ryan. I'm Hoffman, right? So everybody just said, "Oh, well, we'll call you Hoff. Can't call him Ryan. Can't call him Dan Ryan. It's a highway." So I
Right.
kind of got shafted, but that's another story for another time.
Absolutely. We'll just have like a story time. Story time with Jeff and Dan,
I like
sitting
that.
there with
It's a
like
good
a
idea.
book. Yeah. We'll write it down in the notes. But yeah. Obviously, fun weekend of sports. Starting, we'll do a little recap of the wild card for baseball. And as you guys can see, I'm wearing a Brewers jersey. It is a Christian Yelich. You might be like, Jeff, when did you become a Brewers fan? So I've always had a soft spot in my heart for the Brewers, going to college in Wisconsin.
Yeah, of course.
Also, the fact that they are also in the same division as the Cubs, and I kind of root for the White Sox, and then right behind that is pretty much anyone who plays the Cubs. This is how it is. And usually I will live in peace until I'm provoked. And just recently, this is also coming again. And I'm not saying Dan provoked me.
Jeff, I gotta be honest with you. You seem to get provoked a lot.
It seems to be a thing, Like I said, I try to live in peace, but they bring me war, and I kind of feed off of it. And that's the thing is, once I smell blood in the water, I don't stop. That's the thing too. And people might be like, Jeff, there's other stuff. No. We go until it is absolute carnage. But yeah, and I also love just the hate watching too. Like, I will hate watch better than anyone else. I will make sure I do my due diligence on the whole team, the organization. I'll be the biggest fan since October 6th, 2025. But yeah, no, the Brewers, I like their stadium. We've gone up there a couple of times as a family too. But yeah.
Yeah, they're a thorn in our side as a North Sider fan of the good guys, if you will, on the Chicago teams. Yeah. The pulling out the Brewers jersey. Got to be honest with you, bold move. And I do not have any Brewers jerseys. I probably should have thrown a Cubs jersey on. I'm feeling good about the game tonight.
Yeah.
And Milwaukee's got a couple injuries that we're not going to see a couple of their guys, so that could help. But yeah.
Do we know if Churio in the lineup yet, or have they come out with the lineups yet? I don't think I saw anything. I could look over like chatting on it, but I know he got kind of banged up.
I know Woodruff's not going to be pitching in this series. I thought I heard them say something about Mizorowski being a little banged up or something. I don't know if he's. I thought he was still healthy though. So, but I know he's not pitching game 2. So I don't know what their plan is. It looks like they're doing some sort of opener, and then maybe Priester comes in, or I don't know what their plan is. But
yeah, it looks like it's Aaron Ashby versus Shota, and then Churio is he's testing the hamstring during the workout to see the status. I wouldn't count him to be in there if he hurt his hamstring.
Let me ask you this real quick, because I know the Cubs did this in the previous series with San Diego. They had an opener. I think they used Kittredge for the first inning, and then they brought Shota in. Do we think that's more just based on San Diego's lineup? They had a couple big right-handed bats. Maybe they didn't want Shota to face in that first inning because they're not going with the opener today. They're just letting Shota go out there. We know he's struggled a little bit down the stretch.
I mean, obviously with how Shota pitches, he's been struggling. So you have to do everything in your power to kind of get through the top hitters in the lineup. I'm cool with using Kittredge early in that situation. I need closer, to be honest with you. I thought about that and how you could revolutionize. I mean, not revolutionize. The Rays have been doing it for years, but
yeah.
I like the idea. You go out there and you kind of counterpunch. And I don't know what the rule is on like last minute lineup changes, But I mean, I would be that dickhead that like switches like, oh, okay, you want to put your top guy like or your closer at me in the first three? Okay, cool. I'll flip my lineup, and then you'll have to like that's fine. I mean, yeah, it's you're maybe not putting your best hitters up there, but you're putting someone that's quality instead. But I do like that because baseball, especially during the playoff time, is a game of inches. You have to kind of manipulate the lineup, manipulate who the matchup is against who. And it looks like Shota's going, to start this one. I don't know what his record is against the Brewers, but I know he's been pretty bad recently. And I think overall, I think they have a good shot at winning this game, and it would be a statement win, too. They definitely need to. They can't go back to Wrigley 0-2, but I guess if you go back anywhere, I guess going home is the best place to do it.
Yeah, Shota, he definitely didn't pitch that well down the stretch. I know that, he pitched well in that game against the Padres. He just made that one bad pitch, gave up the two-run homer, I think, to Machado. And, that's a guy where, you make a mistake to someone like him, he's going to make you pay for it more times than not. So, I still think Shota can go out there and deliver a big game. It's just the confidence level right now is not what it would have been last year, because last year he had a great year. Both halves of the season. This year, he pitched pretty well in the first half, and it felt like the last month or two, wasn't really had a couple clunkers, kind of, So, but the other good thing for us is our bullpen has been really, really good. So we've got a lot of different guys we can throw out there. We don't need Shota to go out there and throw 6 or 7. If he can give us 4. I don't know if that's asking for too much out of him right now, but if he can give us 4, give us about 11, 12, 13 outs, that might be all we need. So I don't know. Got to get the bats moving, though. Got to score more than 3 runs.
Yeah, you're not going to win with that. I think this one's going to be a lot closer. If Milwaukee blows the doors off like they did last game, I think it's going to be tough to come back from, just because that means that the Brewers got hot at the right time. I fully expect to see the Cubs come out and actually kind of punch them back, just because I don't take that team as like a team that's just going to roll over and die. And if they do, then we know, then they, the curse lives on.
Well, I wouldn't say anything about the curse living on. We broke that curse a few years back.
I'm talking about a new curse. The fact that ever since that, and I saw a funny video on that. Someone had an opinion, and I'm going to steal it because I think it's hilarious. Is that ever since they won in 2016, came down to Game 7, rain delay, so on and so forth, right? Yeah. Ever since that point, took a God-given, event for them to win the World Series. No Chicago team has won anything, not even a playoff series, since then. So for what it's worth, yes, they won the wild card round, so now they moved on. But it's that. I thought that was hilarious.
You know what? We haven't been as good since we won. We haven't had that. We didn't have that long postseason run that Houston had. That we were kind of hoping to do. But you know what? Hey, let's not be talking about any new curses here. We don't need any bad voodoo or juju or any of that stuff. So
no, it's more just more of a note, and more not even a curse against the Cubs. It's more just like the overall what we're seeing here from. Chicago sports ever since 2016. Hawks have sucked, Bulls have really sucked, and then obviously Sox, Bears, same thing.
All of them. We just got to give our love real quick to the Cubs bullpen. Thielbar's been pretty good when he's been asked to come in. Palencia has been great. Pomeranz has been pretty solid. Keller was great in the 8th in the San Diego series, and then obviously had a bit of a meltdown in the 9th. Kittredge has been awesome. So. Let's go, boys. Come on now. Let's go. Let's figure this out.
I fully expect it to be a series. I don't see them rolling over and down, like I said. So I'll give you the benefit of the doubt that they're going to have a decent game, and probably decent game on against or in Wrigley too. But what is the Brewers Park? It used to be Miller Park, but
God, we should know this too.
Like American American.
Is it still not Miller?
No, they changed it a couple years ago.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah. Just to recap in 30 words or less here, that Padres series was the most, as I said on the last, podcast, it was the most predictable that if the Padres won one game, the Cubs are going to come out and smoke them the next two. And it's just based off of how the Padres play. They just don't play that level, maybe of leadership, I guess you could say, because you have Machado and Tatis, and they really don't do it. They might win one series and then go off and fall off the side of the earth. And they were terrible in that series. Outside of Machado hitting that home run, they were combined 2 or 3 for 21.
The Cubs pitching in that series looked like nobody wanted to face our pitching because for whatever reason we were great. We gave up a couple of hits in the 3 games we played them. Tatis was the big one. I mean, he did literally nothing in that series, and he's the biggest bat over there. You know, Jackson Merrill, love him. He's great. Second year for him. But Tatis is your man over there. Machado is your old man who's still great too. They've got other good guys. But Tatis did nothing. He was way too aggressive, trying to hit the first in every single pitch he could hit, or he thought he could hit. And, you know, sometimes you got to wait for it. It's similar to what Aaron Judge is doing. He's had a couple hits, but, you know, we'll get into them in a few minutes. But, San Diego, on paper, they were fearsome because of that bullpen. And their bullpen's great, and Mason Miller is, I don't care what anybody says, he's the best reliever in the game right now. I mean, there's a couple guys that are right in that conversation. Mason Miller is unhittable.
Yeah.
But you know what? I mean, come on now. We've seen the Brewers a lot this year. We just took 3 out of 5 in that 5-game series from them. Yeah, Boyd didn't have it game 1. Every now and then that happens. I know it was short rest. I don't think that was that big of a deal, though. I just don't think he had it. And, you know, you got to try to limit those big innings, and we gave up 6 in the first, and I think that just sucked the air out of us, and, you know, we weren't able to really get going. Even though Bushy hit the homer off of Freddie in the first inning. And I mean, I'm listening to the game on Saturday. I'm like, you know, I was delivering, and I see a couple people sitting outside on their front porches, and I start screaming in the truck. I'm like, yeah, you know, and people are looking at me like, what the hell is wrong with this fucking mental patient? But then it just all went it all went downhill from there. But you know what? We got it today. I'm feeling much better. I was able to have a day to breathe and recuperate. So.
Yeah, if you couldn't have scheduled an off day at a better time.
All these off days now, I don't know where they came from, but I'll take it.
And you would have thought that they would have tried to have the Brewer or the National League go back to back, given the fact that they have to travel across the country, the Dodgers and Phillies, obviously Milwaukee and Chicago. That's not far. They can literally drive there in 2 hours. So I don't want to hear any complaints or, oh, it's so far. That's another thing too. I always laugh at the people who complain about the late games for the West Coast. It's like, did you guys not watch the 2010 Stanley Cup playoffs when we used to play in Vancouver at fucking 10 o'clock at night and not get done until 2 a.m. Weak sauce. Anyway, next game. Speaking of Dodgers and Phillies, that was a fun one. Ohtani was back on the mound making his postseason debut as a pitcher. They were down. They were down that a good portion of that game, and then it just kind of the snowball effect happened. Bunch of hits, and then Teoscar Hernandez has just been one of these. He might win the MVP for the playoffs, even depending on how far they go. That dude seems to be just seeing a beach ball up there. That's one of my favorite terms, but still gonna reuse it and recycle.
Very interesting game, right? The Phillies jump out. They get 3 runs early, I believe, against Ohtani. And just Ohtani's stat line, his full stat line, hitter and pitcher. 6 innings on the mound. He gave up 3 hits, 3 runs. He had 1 walk. He had 9 strikeouts. Pretty darn good, right? He gave up 3 runs. We get it, but that's not terrible. He had 9 strikeouts. Struck out 4 times at the plate. That's a guy that, I know he's pitching. I know he's trying to do both things, but I mean, he's really made his money being a hitter. He hasn't been on the mound a ton. 4 strikeouts is big. You still can win the game though without his bat because they're that good. That's the scary part of the Dodgers team. I know you are rooting for the Phillies. I'm rooting for the Phillies. Everyone that doesn't like the Dodgers is rooting for the Phillies. So they've got a ton of people behind them. But come on now. We can't be blowing games like this. Christopher Sanchez pitched great. I mean, when you've got guys like Glasnow coming out of the bullpen for an inning, for getting you 5 outs, it's an embarrassment of riches. We know that. But come on, Phils. Come on.
Yeah, and then you have Sasaki too, right? I mean, he came out, made his first career save. insane.
He pitches like that, I mean, the series is probably over. But, I mean, my goodness. Come on now. The bats, Schwarber, that's my guy. You know that.
Yeah. No, I like Schwarber now. Now I do.
I don't know if I've worn my Schwarber jersey on the pod. I'll have to. But that's my guy. He hit 50-something homers, 120, 130-something RBIs. He's got to do something, right? I don't care righty-lefty on the mound. You had Ohtani on the mound. I know how filthy he is. He's got to do something. Harper, Tracy, this is your time of the year, my guy. You got to do something. We need something here. We need a big game.
Yeah, and then Trey Turner, too. Toss him into the mix. They need to not strike out as much. But they're not going against Ohtani tonight, so that's always good. Obviously,
yeah, but they get Blake Snell tonight.
Yeah, good luck. God. It's an embarrassment of riches.
Unbelievable, man.
And then you have, like you said, Glasnow coming out of the bullpen.
Come out of the bullpen.
And if they need a game 4, he'll pitch game 4. Like, that's the funny part about that whole ordeal. Yeah, I mean, it's as simple as that. I think the Phillies are a good team. They're going to battle.
They got to score early.
They need to score early and hold it. The problem is that bullpen, man. I mean, I don't know. But, I mean, Sanchez looked good, and then they blew it for him. So, I mean, we'll see.
They're one of the few teams, real quick, that they've got some good starting pitching. So they're one of those teams that can actually go out there and give you more than 3 or 4 innings. Guys like Christopher Sanchez, Ranger Suarez, Luzardo, who's going tonight. These are all guys that can go 6, 7 innings and get you to your best 1 or 2 relievers. Let's go. Like, Luzardo's got nasty stuff. He's had a year, was a little up and down this year, but, like, let's go. Show me something. Wipe these Dodgers out. Ohtani struck out a bunch of times last game. Strike him out again. Let's get Freddie out. Find a way to work around Mookie. Let's do something here.
Yeah, I mean, honestly.
And then Oscar.
No, just work around 5 players on their team.
Half of the lineup, yeah.
I mean, it is pretty funny, like the fall off, though. And when I mean the fall off, it's not like it's a dramatic one, but it's like Ohtani, Betts, Hernandez, Freeman, Edman. Kiki Hernandez is still kicking, but then you got Rojas, who somehow had a good game. Pages, he's been pretty good this entire year too. And then their catcher is Joe Schmo off the street, Redveld. I don't even know. I probably can't even say his name.
I can't even say his name.
Coming in for Will Smith. So yeah, should be interesting. I would expect the Phillies to kind of come out and do some damage. Hopefully, ring the bell.
Yeah, let's ring that bell. Let's do it. Come on, Phils.
And then moving over to the ALDS, we got the Blue Jays versus the Yankees, and what an ass kicking. I haven't seen a beating this bad since someone stuck a banana down my pants and turned a monkey loose at the zoo.
There you go. There we go. We got it. Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah.
Monkeys into the series. Monkeys and bananas getting their beats down. I mean, Toronto is just absolutely throttling the Yankees. They took out Max Fried. I mean, enough said. I think this has been the problem with the Yankees outside of Aaron Judge is they show no fight. They just don't.
They're not getting any hits.
No, they don't. They don't get hits. They've gotten smoked. The freaking rookie, who I think had I don't know how many innings total in his major league career, struck out 11 over 5 1/3. Trey Yavich. And he was lights out. And then, Vladdy Jr. hit a grand slam.
Yeah, Trey Yasavage. I drafted him in, I want to say 2 leagues, and I had to trade him in one of these leagues. And he was a guy I really didn't want to move, but I did it to get the deal done. Yeah. That might have been when I acquired Rodon, but at the same time, this Yasavage kid looks like he's going to be pretty gosh darn good. I mean, he had a hell of a game. What was it, 5 1/3 with
5
1/3,
11 strikeouts. It was incredible. And then they scored 23 runs in 2 games. So,
and you know what? Just real quick with these rookies too. You got to go back to that wild card series we got to mention Cam Schlittler's performance too. Game 3, 8 innings pitched, 5 hits, 12 strikeouts, no balks. I mean, that's why I looked at that series going into Toronto. I'm like, the Yankees, I mean, look, you still have Fried, you have Rodon. If Schlittler's going to be a dominant Game 3 guy, who's got those 3 type of guys that can really go out there and get you? I mean, maybe the Dodgers, obviously, they've got maybe 8, but, they're getting their asses kicked by Toronto. It's not even close. They're not scoring any runs. Judge is your best hitter by far on that team, and if he hits you a couple singles, no offense to Aaron, but that's not what he needs to do in the postseason. And he's trying to do a little too much, like he's been doing the last few years. He knows that the team's on his shoulders. He's expected to hit the grand slams and the 3-run homers and win the games for them. But I mean,
how many
sometimes
jams?
you got to take the walk. Sometimes you got to take the single. I don't know. I don't know what else to do. The other guys have to do something too. Bellinger, Stanton. Come on.
I mean, there's so many clips too, and I was able to put them out on our TikTok page too, of just breaking down the game and how many times they had the bases loaded and Stanton and Judge up, and then they choked. I mean, Judge I think did hit a home run on either game 1 or game 2, but still, it's they need more. They need more. They need Volpe to get going. They need a couple of these guys to wake up. So. I guess we'll see going forward. They're one game away from elimination, and who would have thought the Blue Jays? I mean, before we move into the Tigers Mariners, Blue Jays or Mariners would be such a fun American League.
I would love to see that.
Just someone new. Just someone new. Obviously, it's nice to see the Yankees get beat down because, obviously the MLB for viewership, they would want the Yankees and Cubs because it's historic franchises, yada yada yada. But I think the Blue Jays or Mariners, I want to see the Mariners versus Phillies. I think that would be just a fun World Series. But moving in here, Tigers, they upset the Guardians. I thought that was a hell of a series. Tigers just battled. They battled that entire series. Unfortunately, they lost to Scoop.
Detroit was supposed to win that. They were the better team all year. I know they collapsed, but they were really supposed to win. I know some of their starting pitchers got hurt. I know Cleveland was the hotter team. Detroit was really supposed to win. They had a couple hits. Kerry Carpenter's becoming a guy. He's getting some big hits, some big homers off of really good starting pitching. But yeah, I mean, God, Cleveland. You got to tip your cap to Cleveland. Though they had a hell of a season. They got hot at the right time, and to come up and not only make the playoffs but win your division. I mean,
yeah, that series has been back and forth, low scoring pitching duels essentially.
Yeah.
Kirby won game 1 for Seattle. You would think he would get the win. Brian Wu was off the divisional round, staff, which is kind of crazy. And then Bichette too. We forgot to mention him. He's not even playing for Toronto.
I know. Still scoring 10 and 13 runs.
Yeah, and then yesterday you think, okay, we got Tarek Skubal going. He's gonna be the guy that wins them that game too, and then he ends up losing. I was like, holy shit! He actually I think he got hit hard, but still came down to the last inning for the Mariners, and they closed it out.
Jorge Polanco, 2 homers off of Skubal. I mean, you know what? Skubal pitches. When that guy goes out there, he doesn't really give you anything. You get 1 or 2 off of him, and that's pretty much all you get. 7 innings for him, 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 9 Ks. Another great outing from him. And just like you said, that's been a very low-scoring pitching type advantage series. I think it's been 3-2 in both games. You had game 1 where Detroit won in 11, and then you had 3-2 with Seattle winning the second game. So really good series there. I mean, that one could go either way. I'm rooting for Seattle. I'm rooting for the Seattle-Toronto series. I want to see that go 7 games, and I want to see Brian Wu come back, and hopefully Bo can come back, and I want to get all these guys at full strength, and then we'll see. I mean, it's probably going to be the Dodgers. I hate to say it in the NL representing again. I mean, we'll see. I don't know.
We'll see. I mean, it's a game of inches, like I said. We'll see. But, that being said, Cubs Brewers tonight, 8:00 late game. Kind of surprised by that one. And then you have Dodgers and Phillies tonight too. I think at 6:00. And Monday Night Football got Kansas City and Jacksonville. That should be a fun one. But let's recap the Week 5 of the NFL.
Week 5, NFL. This is what we do every week. We give it to you, the fans, the viewers, the people. This is what we do. So, our fastest 2 minutes. We always start off with what, Jeffrey?
Thursday night.
That is right. Mac Jones matches future Hall of Famer and wins week's only overtime game. San Fran 26, Rams 23. Wentz winds back the clock to lead game-winning drive in last minute. Minnesota 21, Cleveland 17. Well, that's a tough one for you. Jets score first. Dallas scores 30 unanswered. Dallas 37, Jets 22. It's party time in New Orleans as Spencer rattles off Saints' first win over groggy Giants. 26 Saints, Giants 14. Indiana Jones and Jonathan Taylor locate the Holy Grail. Score 40 unanswered. Indy 40, Raiders.
Ugh.
Rico purrs as Panthers capture win number 2. Panthers 27, Miami 24. Broncos drop 18 in fourth quarter to hand Eagles first loss. Denver 21, Philly 17. Stroud immaculate as Texans pounce on Lamarless Ravens. Houston 44, Baltimore 10. Arizona blows 18-point lead as Titans trump Cardinals. Tennessee 22, Arizona 21. Bucks last-minute heroics, enough to hold off Seattle. Tampa Bay 38, Seattle 35. Lions maul Bengals. Detroit 37, Cincinnati 24. Chargers offense goes cold, and a star is born in Washington's Krosky Mirror.
Bill.
Washington 27, Chargers 10. Maybe biggest shock of the week? Shake and bake? No, never again. It's Magic May. Patriots 23, Bills 20. And the game of the week tonight, you just said it's Kansas City at Jacksonville.
Yep. 7:15 Central.
Boom.
All right, let's jump right in. Well done. The Thursday night game, 26-23, San Francisco beat the Rams. Kind of a shocker because San Francisco is undermanned, and they're still 4-1. Bosa's out, Kittle's out, Juwan Jennings was out, Ricky Pearsall was out, Brock Purdy was out. They relied heavily on Christian McCaffrey, but Mac Jones, I think it's just the system that the 49ers play. They can plug and play any quarterback out there, and they're going to succeed. Simple as that.
Yeah, and it seems like the Rams were playing well, and when you get a game like that from Stafford, he had, 3 touchdowns, close to 400 yards. I mean, he had a big, big game. And it seems like when you lose a game like that, that really hurts you. They still, I think, what are they, 3-2 now?
Yeah, they're 3-2. So they're still probably one of the tougher teams in the NFC. Doubt. They'll probably make a playoff run for sure. But, yeah, Kendrick Bourne, 142 yards receiving, too. Kind of a last-minute pickup for fantasy. Some people picked him up, and, they were, reeling in the benefits from it. Now, we'll see how the Rams bounce back. And, is there, people were saying today, is there a quarterback controversy now, Brock Purdy or Mac Jones? I think it's whoever you plug in there. I mean, Sam Darnold looked good there when he had his one start or 4 snaps that he took out there. So, that being said, moving across the pond with Minnesota and Cleveland, Dylan Gabriel made his first career start. Didn't look terrible. I mean, obviously the Browns kind of sputtered a little bit. Their defense is pretty good. We knew that. Myles Garrett's awesome. But Carson Wentz, got knocked out of the game for a little bit too, and he came back. It was like right before halftime, came back and just, led them downfield for the game-winning drive, fed Justin Jefferson, and then got Jordan Addison, who, I don't know if you saw that, he was actually benched for the first quarter of the game because he went out on him by himself without the team to go visit, to sightsee.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, yeah. Nobody did, apparently, until after the game. But, yeah, Quinshon Judkins, Quinshon Judkins might be probably the best running back in this class, and that's saying a lot with Hampton and Genty. But
you've been
Judkins,
praising him a lot.
He's so fucking good, dude.
Now,
I have a lot of stock in him.
Because Cleveland's got a decent O-line, right?
Yeah, I think it's decent. I think Judkins was. I think if Judkins stayed at Ole Miss, Yeah, I think if he stayed at Ole Miss instead of transferring to Ohio State last year, he probably would have been the first running back off the board, because he was putting up Genty like numbers. Maybe not to the point where he could have won a Heisman, but still up there. Excellent, running back, and Carson Wentz. Maybe it's a QB, a QB battle when JJ McCarthy comes back after their bye next week. Who knows? Wentz their quarterback now. We'll see. So.
We'll see. Let's
Next,
hope not.
Yeah, next game, not much to say here. Indianapolis put the whooping down on Vegas. I think Geno Smith is done. All he's done is thrown interceptions this entire year. If he comes back, cool.
God, he just got paid too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he just got paid and looks like shit. Genty, 67 yards. You can only do so much when you have only 14 carries. He caught the ball 5 times, so that helps too if you have him in fantasy. When you look through it, Jonathan Taylor had an awesome day with 3 touchdowns. And
yeah.
Indiana Jones, as they call him, came back and looked good again. 20 of 29, 2 touchdowns and no turnovers. So can't ask for much more.
I don't really know what else to say. I mean, I guess we have to say that Indianapolis is a good team this year. I mean, they keep putting up some. They just keep finding ways to win games, and when you win 40-6, I know maybe Geno's throwing some picks here and there. You still scored 40 points. I think, was that the one? I don't know if that was the game. There were one of these games this week where a team scored 20 points in back-to-back quarters. I don't know if that was the game or not. It might have been, but that hasn't been done in like 10 years or something like that, or something like
interesting
That's stat like that. But the Colts, I guess they're a good team, and then the Raiders. What do you say? I mean, God, you give up 40 points to Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor, and you score 6.
Yeah, not good. Moving on to the G-men, getting smacked around by Spencer Rattler. That was Spencer Rattler's first win in like 10 starts. I think it was 10 starts. Got his first win.
That's a fun stat.
God, what an awful matchup. There's some really bad teams in the NFL.
There are, yeah.
There's some really good ones and some very, very poor ones. And this was a poor matchup. Yeah, they ended up coming back and winning, and Cam Scatterbo fumbled the football, and then he had a meltdown on the sideline asking for different gloves. Yeah, I got nothing. Jackson Dart, a lot of turnovers. I think they had like 4 or 5 turnovers, so not going to win the game that way.
No, even if you're playing a team like the Saints.
Yep, and talking about turnovers, the Jets with the Dallas at the Jets. Jets have yet to force 1 turnover in 5 games. That's a fun stat for you.
Wow,
this might be the worst team in franchise history, and I'm
not even. Oh no!
Yeah, over the 1996 team. I mean, we've had some bad teams. This is probably if they might go 0-17, and I say that entirely.
God, I mean, we talked, I think, last week, and we were saying that, I think they played Miami last week, and then that was the game. I'm like, all right, if they're going to win and rattle off a couple or whatever, you got to beat Miami. You lose to Miami, and it's like, okay, not great. Then you play Dallas. And we all know Dallas, maybe defensively is not very good, and people were saying Dallas was not going to be a great team. They find a way to score some points, though. Dak can go out there and sling it. I think he threw 4 touchdowns in this game. Jets wind up being the only 0-5 team in the league as of week 5 once we end tonight officially. So, yeah, I mean, when you see other teams around the league like the Saints get their first win and Tennessee get a win, you're like, God, the Jets, they're better than Tennessee. They're better than the Saints. But, yeah, it's been tough sledding for Aaron Glenn.
Yeah, I mean, they need to fire Steve Wilkes. He's the defensive coordinator. Their defense somehow looks worse than it did last year. Not forcing any turnovers, like I said. I mean, Tanner Ingstred is the offensive coordinator. I think the offense has looked okay. A lot of garbage time points. That's what they're doing. It's not, like none of these stats are really overly impressive. They're just scoring late and it's making them look good. But yeah, still ugly. And Dallas isn't that good of a team either. Like I said, they're kind of up and down. But Dak is on his way to have an MVP type season, apparently. Yeah, that's it. Moving into Denver and Philly. Denver pulls out that, fourth quarter comeback and won 21-17. When you make Jalen Hurts throw the ball, you see what happens. I mean, he's not that good of a quarterback. If it's not a tush push, he's an average quarterback at best.
So you think that's Sean Payton trying to take the ball, and put it, keep it in his hands and keep him throwing the ball? Because, I mean, I was watching this game a little bit, and, Denver's not a bad team. They've got some players. Bo's ended up becoming a decent quarterback, more than decent. But, for a team like, you see a couple of these teams that won their first 3 or 4 games, and then you see them lose, and you're like, they lost to this team. Like, Denver, good team. I think this game was in Philly,
Denver's
too, right? This game, yeah, it was in Philly, so you can't even complain about it being in Denver with the altitude and all that. So, they're a good team. But Philly was expected to win this game, and you had that fourth quarter. I don't know if they scored in the fourth, and you let Denver score, 18 points in the fourth quarter. You're up in this game. You're up 18 points going into the fourth quarter. You win that game. So I don't care if Jalen Hurts is not the best thrower of the football or not. I mean, to me that's a bad loss for Philly. Good win for Denver, but a bad loss for Philly.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. People are hating on Philly pretty hard, but I mean, that's what happens when you win. They went on a huge win streak end of last year into the Super Bowl. So another game that we can kind of whip through. Carolina beating Miami. Miami, you have to say Tua and Mike McDaniels are on the hot seat. It was a back and forth game. Jalen Waddle kind of had his nice little game, had a go ahead touchdown, and unfortunately, Young finally got some spotlight on him and led a comeback. And Rico Dowdle had an amazing day.
200 yards.
200 yards rushing. When's the last time you've heard someone have 200 yards rushing? Maybe Saquon, but yeah.
Yeah, that's quite the game for Rico. McDaniel, he's been there, 3, 4, 5 years now or something like that.
5 years, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and Tua's got all these concussions, so he probably can barely read the plays now, the poor guy. But, I mean, Miami, what else do they really have around them? I don't think people thought they were going to be that good this year either, so.
Yeah, lots of blowouts, too. Next matchup, Houston winning 44-10 over Baltimore. Baltimore's got so many injuries. CJ Stroud's looking pretty good, but like I said, Baltimore's defense is annihilated. They played without Lamar Jackson too. So when you play without your QB, it's an MVP. You're bound to lose. So, any notes on that other than what I just said?
I was just going to say Stroud had 4 incompletions in that game. He was 23 of 27 for 244 and 4 touchdowns. I know maybe the defense was battered, but he was about as good as you can do, as good as you can get in that game. Maybe it's a get right game for him. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean he's looked pretty good the last couple games. So
right.
Another game that kind of funny. Tennessee got their first win, and honestly, they scored a touchdown off of a fumble. It was an interception that got fumbled that got recovered in the end zone. It was incredible. It's not how they won, but it was how they scored a touchdown. So
it's also not how you draw it up, but I mean it worked, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. It's incredible. So you got that. Kyler, once again, just fell apart. And then also Amari DiMercato. Did you see him drop the ball on the 1 yard line? How many NFL players are going to do this? About to run into the end zone and drop the ball.
You can't be doing that. I mean, you just say, how hard is it to go over the line, run out of the end zone, and then fucking, do whatever the hell you want? I don't care. But my goodness, we've seen this a few times. I didn't see this play, but I think I know what you're talking about. And when you get in the end zone, and if you want to drop the ball, do whatever the hell you want. Punt it in the stands for all I care.
Just cross the line first.
Yeah. It's not hard. I can do that.
Not hard. So what was actually probably the game of the week, and this is saying it was just exciting. Tampa Bay at Seattle. Tampa Bay, pulled it out. Baker Mayfield, almost 400 yards passing. He's good. So was Sam Darnold on the opposite side. He led him down to a game-winning drive, and unfortunately, Baker had too much time on the clock.
It's funny you mentioned game of the week because that's literally what I have written right next to it. I said Hoff's GOW, game of the week. You don't put the on there, obviously. Hell of a game, right? I mean, 38-35. This game went back and forth 3 different times. Baker, 29 of 33 for 379, 2 touchdowns. You got to mention Emeka Egbuka. I think that's how you say it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, unbelievable. That kid's becoming a star. A star is born. 7 for 163 and 1 touchdown. That kid's great. And then Sam, too. You got to mention Sam. 28 of 34 for 341, 4 touchdowns. Did throw 1 pick. I mean, when you've got a heavyweight fight type of game like this where it goes back and forth, Tampa went up a few points in this game. Seattle comes back at the end of the first half, score to start the second half. They go up 1, and then it's just back and forth. The next 3 times you score. Hell of a last minute of this game. Yeah, these are the games where people, when you're watching, you don't change the channel, you don't check another game.
Yeah.
This is the game,
Absolutely. And, our next game, too, that, we forgot to mention JSN. JSN had a huge day, too. Those Ohio State wide receivers, man, they're just breaking out each.
Yeah.
I mean, even Marvin Harrison had a pretty amazing Moss-like touchdown, too, in that Tennessee game. But, yeah, Detroit at Cincinnati, we kind of know, too, without Joe Burrow being out there, what to expect, that it was going to be kind of a crappy game. Detroit just annihilated them. It wasn't close. I think David Montgomery threw for a touchdown. But Jamar Chase got a couple garbage time touchdowns, so that was nice to see that, hey, Jake Browning, you could actually throw it to Jamar Chase, and then you might score some points. But Jamar Chase at one point was leading the team in tackles because Jake Browning threw 3 interceptions.
Now there's a stat for you. Jamar, you're making your money, baby. There you go.
Absolutely. He's like, Joe, get back sooner, please. And I'm saying that for my fantasy team, too. But next matchup, Washington at the Chargers. Started off, I mean, the Chargers were looking really good, pretty dominant, and then, I don't know, Washington made an adjustment, and then they finally started feeding Bill Krosky Merritt. We've been waiting. The fantasy, gods are finally blessing us with another rookie running back that was in the 7th round. He finally got to show what he could do. He did fumble, but, scored twice. Jaden Daniels made his return, so. And then, the Chargers.
Yeah, this was an interesting stat line because, Chargers go out there and they score 10 points early. I think at the end of the first quarter, it's 10-0 Chargers, right? And you're thinking to yourself, well, Chargers are back, right? They lost a game that they shouldn't have lost, and you're like, all right, they're back on track, right? Then they don't score for the rest of the game. 3 quarters, you don't score. That can't happen. Your quarterback's Justin Herbert. He's my favorite quarterback in the league. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I mean, if you don't want to say top 5, I think you got to put him top 10. You can't have that. You can't not score. I know that Washington's a decent team. I know Jaden came back, and Mariota played pretty well in his absence. So, Washington's season still very much, they can do what they want, but 27-10. I mean, I like Herbert. I wanted to see the Chargers win this game selfishly. Brennan, earmuffs. Don't listen. Don't hear this part. But the Chargers, they got some issues over there on offense. I don't know what the hell's going on over there.
I mean, they're injury plagued. I mean, Joe Alt left the game, I think, last week, so he didn't play.
That guy got hurt?
Yeah. So he got hurt last week, and then their other one, Rashawn Slater, he was another one of their first-round draft picks a couple of years ago. He got hurt before the season even started. So, when you go down a couple linemen, that typically opens it up. But then, Amari and Hampton, too, got banged up. I guess he left in a walking boot, so hopefully he's not too banged up, but we'll see. Last game of the night was a hell of a game, believe me, for fantasy purposes. I needed Josh Allen not to score like 50 points. I had Dalton Kincaid going. Jeremy had Josh Allen going, so I'm like, oh, crap.
Kincaid had a game.
Antonio Gibson turned the ball over, fumbled through an interception. I'm up 3 going into tonight with what's his name? He's got Chris Jones. I got the linebacker from Jacksonville, Olakan. So
Okay.
we'll see.
Boy, that's an interesting matchup. Is that Gridiron?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll have to watch that one. It's a must win too. And Dan's frozen. Got a call. It's like make sure. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Yeah. Must watch TV. We'll see where it goes from there. But then, yeah, back into the game. Obviously, New England pulled off the game-winning drive with Drake May, kicked the game-winning field goal in Buffalo. That was a big game. Stephon Diggs had pretty good night, I'd say. 46 yards receiving. Who would have thought you just feed Diggs and he still got it, huh?
Yeah, he had a good game. This to me, I mean, there could be a couple different shocker games. I think the Indianapolis game's a shocker just because they won 40-6. But the Buffalo, I think that was their first loss of the season. And
Yeah.
New England's won a few games themselves. They're looking like they're actually not bad. So, but
their defense is good.
I still think Buffalo, I mean, with the way we think of the Bills, they're just such a dominant team, or at least they're supposed to be. This is a game where, they didn't have it offensively, and New England capitalized and they beat them. So you got to tip your cap.
Yep, absolutely. All right, we'll close it out there. Any closing statements?
Let's go, Cubs. It's now or never. Let's go.
Yep. Of course, it's a late game, too.
8 o'clock. Be there or be square.